Today I'm going to be showing you how to make resin fronted cards with lavender encased in the resin, like these ones. And the process I've used is, well, it was experimental. I'd never tried the idea before, so part of it worked and part of it didn't work. But the good thing is I found a really easy way to actually do it by making the mistake. So please, if you want to make one of these cards, you need to see the end where I explain what went wrong and what you need to do differently. Otherwise, I don't want you to watch to the middle and then think, oh, I know how to do this, and copy what I did, because then you'll do the same mistake as I did. So please watch to the end. If you haven't got time, fast forward to the end, because you need to see the end. Okay, enjoy. I'm here again in front of the camera for a tutorial, which I'm so excited about. I had a brainwave last night about how to make card fronts for greeting cards out of resin, because I do love card making, but I haven't done it for years and years, and my newest passion is resin, epoxy resin. So I thought, I wonder if I can incorporate both of those ideas together. And then I thought, oh yeah, but I don't have a silicone mould the right shape for a card front. But what I do have is this. It's a silicone Swiss roll mould. I'm putting links to everything I'm using in the description, so you can find out how much it cost, which was so cheap. It was from Amazon. I got it from Amazon. So yeah, I'm using this. Too big for a card, I hear you say, but this was the brainwave. I was so chuffed. So I've made this. It's kind of like it will kind of cut the resin into sections while the resin's still wet. That's the theory. It might not work. If it doesn't work, you won't be watching this anyway. But if you're watching this, it may have worked, so keep tuned. So I made this out of mount board, quite thick card, and aluminium tape, which I'll also put the link for. I love this. It's really, really, really sticky, and it's good for masking, and it was great for this, and the resin doesn't stick to it too much. But what I'm going to do is put some petroleum jelly onto here, just to make sure it comes out a little bit more easily. So there we go. I'm going to make my resin. I'm going to put my resin in here. I'm going to use flowers today. Lavender, dried lavender. I'll put my resin in here. I'll change the camera angle for that. And you don't want to see me with all the get up, my safety gear on, so you won't see me doing that bit. Yeah. So I'll change the camera angle and I'll show you the resin, and then I'll show you how this is going to hopefully work. Stay tuned. I just wanted to quickly show you this before I start. This is my little tabletop table, a table within a table that I made, and I use it for anything that needs to be completely level. And what I've done is I've put little feet, let's see, hang on, these little feet underneath, which are adjustable, and then that way I can use my spirit level and get it completely level every time. Because for this job, your surface needs to be very level. Use a spirit level, make extra sure. And I've also put puppy pads. I've got a puppy, so I've got lots of puppy training pads. I like to use those, so I clip them on and it protects my tabletop table. Hope that helps. So I mixed 300 millilitres of my art resin, and it was a little bit too much, but you'll see that I made something extra at the end. If you just want to do what you see here, it's about 200 millilitres should be enough. And I added the Resin 8 Deep Lake pigment. Now here you can see I'm adding my dried lavender. I sprayed it with acrylic varnish first. It just helps to keep it all together a little bit, but you will see bits did come off and I had to pick them out. And it also seals it so you don't get quite so many little bubbles coming out of the lavender. And here you can see, once I'd laid it down into the resin, spinning it around in the resin so that it's completely coated, because you don't want any bits that aren't completely sealed by the resin. It does protrude from the resin. It also sticks out to give it a lovely texture, but you do want that exposed lavender to be covered in resin. So that's what I was doing there. I was just spinning it and covering it. And here I'm picking out all the bits that have come off, because you do get little buds falling off. I did find at the end that I'd missed a few bits because the silicone mould is so dark in colour. I missed it. I couldn't see them very well, so you do need to look really carefully to make sure you don't miss anything. Now there I've just added a little bit of Resin 8 Sapphire into my Deep Lake colour, just to darken it, so we've got a little bit of variation in colour going on, and I'm just using my hot air gun just to blow the bubbles out and just move the darker colour around a bit. Here I'm pressing on the separator grid that I made. I'm pressing the lavender down now so that it goes to the edge, because I didn't want it in the way when I put the separator down. So now it's down. I've put pressed the lavender towards the edge, and now I'm adding the crystals along the side. Again, you don't want to do that before you put the separator in, because it won't go right down to the bottom. I wished afterwards that I'd put more crystals in, because they sank down to the bottom a bit. So when it was finished, I found myself adding more crystals with super glue. So at this stage, this is when you want to pile them nice and high if you want it to be really glittery and crystally. I use table scatter crystals that you get for parties. They're fantastic and they're really cheap. So yeah, I use those. I'll put a link for everything in the description. Okay, so here we have it. What I'm going to do now is put something heavy, a big flat board on the top, and then put something heavy on top of the board and weigh it down until it's cured. And I can't wait to see. Remember, once that brown silicone mold's off it, it's going to look completely different again. I'm really sorry about the terrible lighting in here. I need to sort it out. Anyway, I had some resin left over. I mixed too much, so I quickly had a look around. I found a picture frame and I took out the glass. Sorry, it's upside down. I took out the glass, put the leftover resin and some lavender on, and we'll see how that looks tomorrow as well. Oh, and I put the petroleum jelly all over the back again, so hopefully those drips on the back will just pop off. Oh, and I think I'll put some crystals on the bottom so it matches the cards. So let's see what happens. Stay tuned. Okay, I'm back. We have got, first of all, let me apologise for the sound. I've lost my microphone. I think it might have something to do with a small puppy called Honey. But I'll probably find it as soon as I've finished, but I hope you can hear me. So, we have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is the amazing idea that I had didn't really work, but you know, experiments, that's what happens. It worked, it kept the carbs separate, and I managed to salvage them, but it was just a pain in the ass to get them out of the, sorry I shouldn't have said that, it was a pain in the neck to get them out of the framework thing. But the good news, and it's actually excellent news, is we didn't need it, because I've discovered that if you demold your resin when it's still pliable, I waited 22 hours in cool, it's spring in England so it's quite cold, and it was nice, I could touch it and it was smooth and it didn't feel sticky at all. If it feels sticky, it's too soon, to try to demold it. But if you take your resin out of the Swiss roll silicone mould and it's just nice, like I just explained, you can cut it with a knife and a ruler, just a knife like this. Oh, there's my phone. One moment. Yeah, so you can cut your resin when you take it out the Swiss roll mould with a knife and a ruler, just like you would cut a piece of card, just like that. And I thought, all that fuss, and I could have just done it like that. But it's such an amazing discovery, because I'm now thinking of all the other things I could make using my knife to cut out the resin. Ooh, it's quite exciting. So yeah, that's probably going to be the next video. Now, here's one of my cards. Whoops, the glue's still a bit wet, so the crystals are falling off. I've put more crystals on with super glue just because I wanted it more shiny. We do have a little bit of a problem. We've got some of the little buds that I didn't manage to salvage. You know, when I picked them all out of the resin, I think it's because the mould was brown and I just didn't see them, so you need to be really careful of that. But I think I can still get away with it, even with those bits in it. Just makes it kind of rusticy. Don't mind it. And so let me show you how I made the card. I drew around the piece of resin, which I demolded resin and cut out, and then I drew around it on some mount board. This mount board, I'll put a link to it. It's just what you buy from craft shops for putting in front of pictures when you're mounting pictures to make a frame from. I wanted a nice sturdy back to the card, because obviously the front's quite heavy in a way for a card, and it was keep it up and keep it nice and solid. So, but then you need it to fit together. So I've chosen some lilac card to stick on there with a glue stick, just a normal glue stick, and then I'm going to put super glue on here, which works really well with the resin, and put that on there. I won't do it now because it's quite self-explanatory, nice and quick and easy, and that's how it looks, and I'm really pleased with it. I really like it. And as you might remember, I did that piece of glass, which I also love, and this is going to go back in the frame that I pinched it out of. I love the way the light shines on all the different lumps and bumps. It's fab. And what I've done is kept a couple of those lumps just to show you how I got them off. You know, when it drips down underneath. I did say hopefully it will pop off. It wasn't quite as simple as that, but almost. So all you need to do is heat it up. Give it a good heat. And then with your craft knife, just slide it underneath. Easy, and it's off. That's the good thing about using glass. You wouldn't be able to do this if it was a piece of resin with drips coming down, or wood so much when you'd need your masking tape. But I used just a bit of, I thought I had it here, a bit of petroleum jelly, and that's it. I'm going to put that back in the card. Now, so yeah, conclusion is everything apart from the system with that grid cutter thing that I did is worked fine. It's just do everything I've done, just miss out the bit where you put that thing in. These things happen, and by doing it I found out something really amazing, because I had to trim the edges and I used a knife and it worked. Next thing, oh, I wanted to show you what's coming up soon. If you liked this lavender on resin, have a look at what else I've made, and I'm going to be making a video, a video to show you how to make a lampshade out of resin and lavender. I'm really loving the lavender at the moment, as you can tell. So yeah, that's coming up soon. So if you want to see this, make sure you click that bell and subscribe as well, please. And yeah, you'll get a notification to tell you, oh, shall I turn it on? You'll get a notification when it's ready, when this is on, and all my other videos, because I'm always having brainwaves. So that's that. Let me think, was there something else to tell you? Oh, you can follow me on Facebook if you like, Louise Singleton Creations, and on Instagram, Louise Singleton Art, all one word. And yeah, please do want to be friends with everybody. Okay, done? Hope you're going to make something like this, because I want to see it. Bye for now.